tell the truth, does this surprise you guys that Shedeur Sanders, pick number 144, is now the best-selling jersey of the draft class?
No.
He said, I don't really know. I don't know what he meant. I'm not going to worry about it. Another person's words can't hurt me.
He didn't just sign a rookie deal. He signed a Declaration of Independence. While every other first-year quarterback shows up hoping to earn their place, Shedeur Sanders walked into the NFL like he already owned part of it. And by the end of that meeting, he actually did. Because buried inside his contract is a quiet line that's about to change everything. Not just for rookies, not just for quarterbacks, but for the entire power structure of professional football. A single clause that gives Shedeur financial ownership over something the NFL spent decades trying to control: his brand. No scandals, no standoffs, no public negotiations. Just a subtle move that quietly flipped the most powerful league in America on its head. And now, the NFL's polished empire is showing cracks. What you're about to hear is not just the story of a player who knows his worth. It's the blueprint for every athlete who comes next. This is the Prime Equity Clause.
Everything's good. In life, it's always going to be pain. It's always going to be things, adversity, things that's going to knock you down sometimes, but the main thing about it is you just got to push through it.
And once you understand how it works, you'll see why the league's terrified. For decades, NFL contracts followed the same blueprint: rigid, predictable, and firmly tilted in the league's favor. You get your salary. You show up. The league markets you how it wants. And any money made from your face on a billboard or clip on a highlight reel, that's theirs, not yours. Until now. Shedeur Sanders' deal introduced something the league had never seen before: a legal landmine known as the Prime Equity Clause. It gives him a percentage of every dollar generated by his name, image, and likeness, inside or outside league channels. That means jerseys, commercials, YouTube clips, TikTok reposts, live appearances, promos, merchandise. Anything that uses him to move the needle, he gets paid for it. Not just a performance bonus, not just an endorsement deal. Equity.
I think he's going to be on the roster no matter what. Because at the end of the day, I do think he has a safe floor at quarterback, but those type of things, moving the needle, moving dollars around and being relevant as a franchise, that's what you want as an owner.
And the clause didn't come from years of negotiation or union pressure. It came from a 21-year-old who simply refused to play by ancient rules. Most rookies are happy just to make the roster. Shedeur walked in with the confidence of a man who knew the NFL needed him just as much, if not more, than he needed it. The league thought it was signing a quarterback. What it actually signed was a partner. And the second that ink dried, the league's grip on player branding started to slip. Before Shedeur even threw a regular season pass, he made over $14 million, without the NFL touching a dime. Not from a massive game check, not from some back-end bonus, but from content, sponsorships, licensing, and his personal brand. Because here's the real power move. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a football player. He's a media powerhouse, and everything, from the cameras to the contracts, runs through him.
And the other interesting thing is that Fanatics is selling 9 different items. 9 items for him, which is more than any other draft pick outside of Cam Ward. There are 9 different options.
Kids are going to love Shedeur.
He owns his YouTube channel, and you'll find highlights there that feel more cinematic than what networks air on Sunday. His mini docs rack up millions. His vlogs have better editing than half the NFL's official content. His brother? Film crew. His editors? In-house. His merch? Self-produced. All monetized. All his. No league filters. No team oversight. No PR squad ghostwriting captions. Everything that hits the internet is unfiltered, real, and completely controlled by Shedeur and his unit, and that is what makes it so valuable. At a time when fans crave authenticity over polish, Shedeur speaks the language of Gen Z and Gen Alpha fluently, and the results? Colossal. Over $250 million in jersey sales alone. Not million-dollar endorsements. $250 million IP power. This isn't a side hustle. This is a fully operational business entity walking onto NFL fields every Sunday. And the terrifying part for the league? That business now plays quarterback.
I would say I'm just going on there on my ability and God ability. You know, I don't think anything too deep on what I did last preseason. You know, it's a 24-hour rule, or I say 12-hour rule now.
Shedeur didn't break rules. He rewrote them and handed the league a contract it never saw coming. Most athletes spend years trying to wrestle even an ounce of leverage from the system. But Shedeur, he walked in as a rookie and skipped the begging phase. No threats, no drama, no holdouts. Just one clause that said, if you're going to use me, you're going to pay me. And the league said, okay. That's what really shook the walls in Park Avenue. Because it wasn't loud. It was quiet. Strategic. Calculated. He didn't need to grandstand. The message was baked right into the paperwork. I am not your asset. I am your partner. The NFL loves control. Narratives, content, optics. But Shedeur effectively told one of the most powerful leagues on earth, you can run your machine, but I run me. And the executives didn't fight back. They approved it, silently, because they weren't ready for the PR disaster of saying no to a generational star, with millions already watching his every move.
Fans are so excited about Shedeur. I know that after that Panthers game, my emails and texts and social media were flooded with just how excited Browns fans were about what the future holds for Shedeur Sanders.
That's why agents scrambled. That's why veterans whispered. Because this wasn't just a contract win, it was a system hack delivered by a 21-year-old rookie with a media team and a plan. He didn't ask to play the old game. He built his own and invited the league to join. And what happened next would ignite panic across every front office in the country. As soon as Shedeur's contract leaked, the ripple effect was immediate. Agents called emergency meetings. College stars started circling dates on their calendars, not for the draft, but for when they'd first say the words, I want the same thing Shedeur got. Because once a blueprint exists, it can't be unseen. The prime equity clause isn't a fluke. It's a prototype. And if a rookie can secure control over his name, image, and likeness, why shouldn't everyone else? That's where the nightmare begins for the NFL. Not because Shedeur made millions, but because he proved something scarier than talent or popularity. He showed that the system isn't bulletproof. For decades, NFL rookies were groomed to be quiet, grateful, malleable. Perform, smile, sign, repeat. The league molded them into personalities suited for sponsorships, without ever giving them a real say in how they were portrayed. But now, every promising player from here on out has a case study, a PowerPoint screenshot, a clause highlighted in neon. You can own your brand. You can demand equity. Shedeur did. And it worked. And that terrifies the old guard, because if this model spreads, the league doesn't just lose profits, it loses control. The day Shedeur sat at that negotiation table wasn't just a victory. It was an infection vector. And now that idea is spreading fast, because when a rookie flips the script, stars start flipping pages, and whole systems start to shake. Influence is the new currency, and Shedeur Sanders is rich. Why most rookies are introduced to the world through press briefings and highlight montages, Shedeur did it himself with a hoodie, a vlog camera, and 250,000 viewers watching in real time. His content gets more engagement than some NFL franchises. His behind-the-scenes clips outperform team broadcasts. On social media, he's not part of the system. He outranks it. And that's where the league loses sleep. Because in the NFL's world, legacy has always been the measuring stick. Stats, rings, awards, all filtered through the shield. But Shedeur's not waiting 10 years for a highlight reel tribute. He's building legacy, live, in real time, with no middleman. He doesn't need a reporter to ask him questions. He starts the conversation. He doesn't need a brand campaign. He is the brand. And fans, they're not just watching games anymore. They're watching stories. They're following personalities. They're investing in authenticity. And Shedeur gives them more realness in a 30-second TikTok than the league does in a 6-minute press package. That kind of loyalty, you can't manufacture it. And once a player has it, you can't own him. Every follower Shedeur gains is a little more power taken from the league. And the NFL's starting to realize it's not dealing with just another rising star. It's dealing with something way harder to control. A movement. The NFL can't undo it. The clause is real. The contract is public. The money is flowing, and the precedent, it's already set. So now the league is stuck between two impossible options: adapt or be left behind. If they embrace Shedeur's model, they risk shaking the very foundation the Shield was built on. Centralized control, polished PR, one-size-fits-all athlete branding. If they resist, they risk looking like the villain in their own story. A billion-dollar machine that crushes innovation the second it threatens power. Either way, the status quo is shattered because today's athletes don't want to fit the mold. They want to build the mold. They want equity, ownership, autonomy, and they've seen what it looks like in real time through Shedeur Sanders. College stars are taking notes. Recruits are Googling prime equity clause. Agents are rewriting contracts. PR teams are being replaced by content teams. Rookies won't be asking for visibility anymore. They'll be demanding infrastructure. And the NFL's grip on player branding, it's no longer a leash. It's now a negotiation. Shedeur created a business before he created a stat line. And in doing so, he proved a dangerous new truth. You can build your empire first, and one of the biggest leagues in the world will have no choice but to play ball with you. This isn't just about one deal. It's not just about football. It's about the future of athlete power and the beginning of the end for league control. So the question isn't if other players will follow, it's how soon. Because what Shedeur just pulled off wasn't a contract. It was a countdown, and we just heard the first tick. So now that you've seen how one rookie walked into the most powerful league in America and flipped the script, let's ask the real question. Do you want more players to follow Shedeur's lead? Do you want a league where the stars own their spotlight, or one where they're still told to smile, sign, and stay inside the lines? Because whether the NFL wants it or not, the game's evolving. And the next wave of players, they're not coming to be managed. They're coming to build. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Seriously, because how you see this story matters more than ever. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching this revolution unfold. Because this isn't just about football anymore. It's about freedom, ownership, legacy. And Shedeur Sanders, he's already 3 moves ahead.